Okay, so picture this. The world is a total wasteland, completely destroyed. And it's all because this massive monster, a Metroid, crashed into Earth and just wrecked everything. All that's left is this one little city, and it's run by this super strict church led by a guy they call the Patriarch. His rules are everything, and you do not mess with them. But get this, there's also a witch in the city named Gray, and she's awesome because she grants people's wishes. Naturally, everyone starts going to her instead of the church, and the Patriarch gets super mad about it. So he sends his top tough guy, the Enforcer, to just straight up kill Gray. And he does it! Right in front of a huge crowd, the Enforcer kills Gray. But surprise! As he turns to leave, Gray pulls a fast one and reveals it was all magic. She hypnotizes one of the Enforcer's own guys, making him think he's dying. He freaks out and shoots his gun, trying to shoot the rope he's tied with, but instead, the bullet hits the rope holding Gray and she escapes. Then Gray creates this illusion of herself walking towards the guy, and he shoots at it, and this is so messed up, he actually kills his own buddy. The main Enforcer hears the commotion and comes back. First thing he does, he kills the soldier Gray had under her spell. Then they search everywhere for Gray, but they can't find her. She's hiding in plain sight, using her magic to trick them, and then she just starts taking out all the Enforcer's soldiers, one by one. Finally, it's just her and the Enforcer. She puts a knife to his throat, and he's basically like, just do it. But she doesn't kill him. Instead, she just hangs him up and leaves. So cool. Now the scene totally changes and we meet this guy Boyce. He's riding through a tunnel when a bunch of bandits ambush him. One of them tries to swipe his gun, but then this crazy two-faced snake just lunges out and kills the bandit. After that, Boyce just goes to town on the rest of them. He's got insane fighting skills, shoots a few, and just handles the whole situation like a pro. We find out he's not just some random dude, he's a bounty hunter, and he is really, really good at his job. Okay, back to Gray. The Queen and her right-hand man come to see her. The Queen has a job for her. She wants Gray to kill a shapeshifter and bring its power to her. Gray demands a huge payment and agrees to do it on the night of the full moon, which is only 6 days away. They leave, but then another guy sent by the Queen shows up and tells Gray not to do the job. He thinks the Queen is up to something bad. And here's the crazy part. Gray has a curse on her where she can't refuse anyone's wish, so she has to say yes to him too. So now she's in this impossible situation. She has to fulfill 2 wishes that are the complete opposite of each other. How is she going to pull that off? She starts using her powers to find the shapeshifter and gets this vision where she sees a ton of people who tried to hunt it before, but the shapeshifter just turned them all into its prey. This thing is no joke.
Okay, so after the shapeshifter kills everyone, it lets out this insane roar, and it's so scary that it actually breaks Gray's magic vision. Like, poof, it's gone. Then, boom, scene change. We see the Queen, and get this, she's with the king for the first time. The dude's super sick and just lying in bed. So Gray goes to find Boyce because he's like the best hunter around and she needs a guy like him for this mission. She offers him a ton of cash to go kill the shapeshifter. Gray has to go with him to this place called the Lost Man because that's the only spot where you can actually kill the thing and steal its power. Boyce is like, whoa, hold on, this trip is super long and crazy dangerous. We're talking demons, busted up roads, the whole deal. But Gray is all in, ready for anything. And you'd think they'd get a break, but nope. The church guys are still hot on their trail. They bust into the bar looking for Gray, but she and Boyce manage to slip out just in time. Meanwhile, the Patriarch hears that the Queen secretly met with Gray, and he totally freaks out. He thinks they're plotting against the church, so he sends the Enforcer after them again. So the Enforcer and her soldiers track Gray and Boyce to this city where they're crashing with Boyce's friends. And we finally get Boyce's backstory. Turns out, his parents were killed right in front of him in the Lost Land when he was a kid. He had to fight all kinds of monsters and hunters just to survive and make it back to civilization. Total tough guy. The next day they keep going and get to this place where they have to take a cable bus across a huge gap. But guess who's waiting for them? The Enforcer and her crew. And it's on. A huge fight breaks out. Boyce is being a total action hero with his knives and guns, and Gray's doing her awesome magic stuff, messing with their minds and launching sneak attacks. They finally manage to jump onto the cable bus, but a bunch of soldiers follow them. Gray climbs on top of the bus and just starts taking guys out while Boyce is fighting them inside. The Enforcer sees they're losing, so she tells her guys to cut the cable. The whole bus just plummets, but it gets snagged on a rock. Gray and Boyce have to use their knives to climb up this super slippery rock face. It's so intense. The Enforcer sees them about to get away and pulls out a sniper rifle, but as she's aiming, Gray looks right through the sniper scope and hypnotizes the Enforcer again. She makes her think they're already gone. So cool. But during the fight, Boyce got shot, so he's in a lot of pain. He has to pull the bullet out himself, and Gray stitches him up. Then, cut back to the Queen, and get this, we find out she's pregnant. She's got an heir now, so she doesn't need the sick king anymore. She's been wanting to ditch him, but didn't want to lose her power, so she just straight up kills him, and then tells everyone he died from being sick. So ruthless. Back with our heroes, they reach the city and get swarmed by these super creepy demons that kind of look like people, but are just terrifying. Boyce knows their weakness, so he spreads oil everywhere and lights a huge fire to keep them back. But these things are smart. They start coming out of the ground to put out the fire. Just as they're about to get overwhelmed, the demon leader shows up. Gray sees her chance and zaps him with her magic, hypnotizing him and making him call off all of his creatures. Then she unleashes this crazy fire magic from her hands and just wipes them all out. Later, Boyce is like, "Whoa, that fire was intense. I didn't even feel the heat. How'd you do that?" And Gray spills the beans and is like, "There was no fire. I just made them think there was fire. So they basically died from being scared." How wild is that? They're almost at the Lost Land, and Boyce stops her one last time. Like, "Are you sure? This is the point of no return." But as they're talking on this bridge, they see the Enforcer and her whole army coming after them on a train. There's nowhere to go. So Gray gets another crazy idea. She just starts sprinting down the bridge. The Enforcer is like, "I've got you now," and just floors it, planning to run Gray down. But surprise, the bridge is broken. She just played her. The train is going way too fast to stop. At the very last second, Gray jumps off the side of the bridge and Boyce catches her, saving her life. But the Enforcer and her entire army just fly right off the broken bridge and are all killed. When the Patriarch hears about this, he loses it. He knows the Queen is coming for him, so he tries to turn the whole city against her, saying she and Gray are going to destroy everything. So what does the Queen do? She finds her special man, seduces him, gets him all lovey-dovey, and then convinces him to kill the Patriarch and all his guys for her. Finally, with all the bad guys out of the way, Gray and Boyce reach the cave where the shapeshifter lives.
So the full moon is about to rise, and Gray and Boyce are in this cave filled with human skulls. Boyce is like, "See? This is what happens to people who hunt the shapeshifter. We can still turn back." But Gray isn't listening. She starts putting on these big silver claws. And then she drops the biggest plot twist ever. She looks right at Boyce and says, "You think I don't know? I know you're the shapeshifter." Total shocker. She tells him she figured it out with her magic, and that's the real reason she hired him. She needed to lure him back to his true home so she could kill him and take his power. Just as the full moon comes out, Boyce starts to transform right in front of her. He turns into this huge, powerful wolf-like creature, and even though he doesn't want to, he lunges at Gray. It's a full-on fight. Gray uses her magic to mess with his head, making him see a bunch of birds attacking him. While he's distracted and swatting at nothing, she strikes, slashing him with her silver claws. Just then, the moon goes behind a cloud, and Boyce changes back into his human form, totally unconscious from the attack. When he wakes up, he's chained up and feels super weak. And get this, Gray played him from the start. She reveals that the weakness of a shapeshifter is silver. So when she stitched up his bullet wound earlier, she secretly slipped a silver coin inside him, and it's been slowly poisoning him this whole time. She apologizes and says she doesn't want to do this, but her curse forces her to. She's about to kill him, when Boyce says, "Wait, I have a wish too." And his wish is for Gray to stay with him, because he's fallen in love with her. Can you believe it? Gray just starts crying and says, every wish has a price. She's totally trapped between fulfilling the wishes of the Queen's man, and now Boyce. As the full moon comes out again, Boyce transforms, and Gray, with tears in her eyes, stabs him with a dagger and kills him. It's so tragic. The next morning, Gray has Boyce's wolfskin. She returns to the city, and the people are overjoyed to see her. They're so sick of the church's rules that they start a full-blown rebellion, attacking the church and tearing down their symbols. Gray is their new hero. First, Gray goes to the Queen's special man. She gives him Boyce's skin and says, the Queen has to put her blood on it to get the power. The guy is confused. Like, but I wished for you not to fulfill her wish. And Gray explains the ultimate loophole. The Queen wanted to become a shapeshifter to be with Boyce. But there can only be one shapeshifter. So to make the Queen a shapeshifter,
Gray had to kill Boyce. And now that Boyce is dead, the guy's wish to have the Queen for himself can also come true. Mind-blowing, right? When the Queen finds out Boyce is dead, she's completely shattered. We find out Boyce once told her he wanted to be with someone like him, and that's why she wanted to become a shapeshifter. She's so heartbroken that she just grieves all night and never does the ritual with the skin. So when the sun comes up, the shapeshifter skin just bursts into flames and turns to ash. The Queen, in a fit of rage and grief, kills her special man, Gerace. But then she realizes she's made a huge mistake. The people are rebelling outside, and she just killed the one guy whose army could have protected her. And then, the biggest twist of all, as the sun rises, Boyce wakes up. His life was tied to the skin. Since the Queen never used it, his life force just returned to him, and he came back to life. He is furious and goes straight for Gray, putting a knife to her throat and screaming, "Why did you kill me?" And then Gray explains everything. She saw it all in a vision. She knew the Queen would be too heartbroken to use the skin. She knew the grieving Queen would kill her special man, and she knew that because the skin wasn't used, Boyce would come back to life. In one move, she fulfilled everyone's wish. The Queen's man got the Queen, for a minute. The Queen got her revenge, in a twisted way. And Boyce's wish for Gray to stay with him would now come true. Boyce is just stunned, but then he's overjoyed. He realizes the woman he loves just pulled off the most insane plan ever, and now they can be together. The two of them just set off on a new adventure, and that's how the movie ends. What a ride!